In this lecture, we'll be taking a look at content distribution with slots. So just assume that we need to create a particular component which should look like this: container, then it should contain header component and a footer component. So till now we have just seen that whatever component we are creating, the template for that component gets rendered wherever we put it. But here you can see that we are using a couple of other components inside the main component. So this one can be considered as our app component, and then the other two that we have mentioned over here can be treated as other components. Like over here I've created one called app_header.view. So here two things comes into our mind. The first one, the container component that we have created over here does not know what content may be present inside its mount target. Here we are referring to header component and footer component. The other thing, the container component very likely has its own template, which is true. Over here you can see that we have our app.view component which has got its own template. So to make this composition work, we need a way to interweave the parent content and the component's own template. Now this is a process which we refer as content distribution, and Vue implements content distribution using special slot element to serve as distribution outlets for the original content. Now one thing over here we need to ensure, and that is the compilation scope. So as you can see over here, what I've done is I've created this header template, and all it's doing is just having a template with a slot. So slot is something where content can be entered. You'll see what I'm trying to say over here. So this is the header template that we have created. Now in our app.view file, I've just imported this app header, included it in my components collection, and then notice over here. So this is my container, and here inside that container I'm making use of app header. Now this app header, we are entering these two paragraph tags inside it, and we also have this h1 tag coming up. So when the program will run, what we will be actually seeing is the first line will come as I am the app component title. Then we'll go to app header. Here app header template will be rendered. So here when we'll go to app header, we see that we have this h2 tag which says I am header title, and then we have slot. So it will then display I am header title, and after that whatever content we have specified over here will actually replace the slot. So this slot element will be replaced by the content that we are putting over here. And if we just omit this whole thing, the content that we have specified inside this slot will be shown when the program will run. So the compilation scope is everything in the parent template is compiled in parent scope, and everything in the child template is compiled in child scope. So what I mean by that is, when we will be executing this, first of all our parent component content will be coming up, and then the child component content will be coming up. So let's go ahead and take a look at this now. So when I'm running this, you can see that it says I am the app component title. Now this I am the app component title is actually the h1 tag that we have over here. Then our app header starts, and notice it says I am header title, which we have defined in our app header view component here, the h2 tag. And then we have our slot. Now this slot gets replaced with the content that we have defined over here. There you go. Now for some reason, if I just go ahead and omit this whole thing, save this, and there you go. Now the content which we mentioned in our app_header.view file inside the slot tag is coming up over here. This will only be displayed if there's no content to be distributed. So this one over here is now actually being rendered. Let's revert back. Save this now. So this content distribution that we just now practiced is called single slot content distribution. In the next one, we'll be covering named and scoped slots as well.